Hey guys, it's Ryan Longhorn here, and today we are back with episode 5 of our Alpha 12 series. Couple things before we get started. Firstly, I went up to the moon. You can see I grabbed some cobalt, and some magnesium, and also a little bit of pentaxid up there. And I discovered this. It doesn't actually show on the PDA log, but there was this object up in space. It was basically just floating blocks. I would show you guys, but it takes a little while to fly out there, and so it would be a bit of a waste of time to fly all the way up to the moon just to show you guys that. But as promised in the last episode, the very first thing we're going to do is change this base to private, and by doing so, I can go now down to my statistics, and here's my overall probability of getting attacked by the Xerax. Obviously, I'm neutral or above with the Talon. I think I'm just neutral, but if you're neutral or above, they won't attack you. However, the Xerax, since I am not neutral with them, I'm actually unfriendly with them, then they will attack me. And there's no specific set time for the next attack, but I have a 25% chance, I think it's each day, to get attacked by a drone attack. And I tried to crank up the difficulty a little bit in these base attacks in the series, because I found in times past the base attacks are just kind of one or two drones and a troop transport, and I can take down all of those very, very easily, even with the bolt not even needing the base. So I wanted a little bit more of a challenge, and so that's why I set the settings the way I did. But in today's episode, I also think that we should go ahead and retire this hover vessel, because it has served us well, but we don't really need it anymore, especially if we're going to be running around with the bolt. One thing that we might want to get, though, is the EX-01 Earth Mover, also by Spange. You can see the only thing we might have trouble getting is the titanium rods, and that's because it's T2. But any POIs, even these unknown, like this unknown helix here, we can hit that up and it'll be made out of hardened steel. So I actually think it might already be waypointed. No, that is what is waypointed. I don't even know why it is flagged, but I'm going to head now to the helix, and I'll be back with you guys. Also, guys, I was just thinking as I fly to this helix, I also encountered some drones on the moon, but I didn't think that needed to be shared in video either. Just mentioned is enough, because they're just drones. I mean, that's about it. Here's another radiated biome like we hit up in the last episode. These things usually spawned nightmares, but if you can knock out the core before you actually enter the POI, which you can do with this specific one, then it won't spawn any. The core used to be up there, but it appears, I think it's now down. You can just about make it out under that central spire at the very bottom. See the gap? There's a little bit of red there. So if I fly backwards, I might be able to snipe this just right. There we go. So it has now been cored. It no longer has a core, and that makes it nice and easy for us to just go in and get the loot without having to worry about the nightmares and stuff. But really quickly, you can see this is hardened steel block, and I just got 4 titanium plates, which, if thrown in here, is exactly 2 titanium rods, actually. So that's nice. And if I just hop up here, I'm gonna go ahead, and what I can do is, this is a little bit cheaty, but the ship doesn't fall from the sky if you turn it off while you're not in it. So it just saves on some fuel. But I can get a little bit closer to this thing. It's a long fall, so I'm trying to be very careful here. Like, that is not good, and this is even more not good. There we go. Now I'm all the way back at the bottom, but it doesn't matter as much now because, as I say, those nightmares won't spawn. And I can also knock out these blocks in the center just like that. They give me Xenu substrate, but I don't want any of it, so I'm just gonna try not to throw my multi-tool out, and now I can reach the main loot with a lot more ease. Night vision is good, explosives are good, all of this is good. The shotgun I don't really need, the pistol upgrade kit I don't need a whole lot of any of this, but it's better than nothing. And when I'm done, I can hop into the bolt and power it on before it hits the ground, and I have all of the titanium I need, and I can come back and dismantle that again if I need some more. But the one thing I need to do is go to this crash site station, which I think is the teleport station there, because now it is waypointed. I actually didn't waypoint it. That's been like that, or the game did that automatically. So once I go dump this stuff off, I will go check that out. But I'm just gonna throw some of these resources. I don't think titanium plates, yeah, they aren't useful anymore, but I can just throw, like, this 100 copper is gonna go great. It's gonna make a huge dent in the needs for the EX-01. This is also by Spange. I use a lot of his builds because they're really good. They look awesome and they function pretty well as well. And so that's why I don't tend to build a whole lot of my own, because I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, sort of a thing. He has perfectly good working and honestly exceptional builds that are better than anything I could do by a lot. So the one thing I will keep on me though is these explosive devices, because they can be useful if I have to blow something up. Anyway, we've hit the teleport station now. Since the signal source is not here, it's emitting from another position nearby. This could be the first clue of what's happened to us. Okay. I'm gonna leave my ship running, or it could be a trap, and talk to the teleport station. Hop directly back in this ship. So let's start chasing the white rabbit, shall we? That must be a saying from another country or something, because I've never heard it before. But now it's telling us to go to the UCH Heidelberg, which is just over the hill. It's nice we've already found it and everything, though it actually would have pointed it out for us. I'm gonna go ahead and accept the mission, and then we found the wreckage. I'm not gonna read a whole lot of that because it's better if you guys can. There's a multi-tool in there, which is good, but we already have one, so that's fine. We can sell it at the Polaris Traders or something. There's an electromagnetic signal that way, another multi-tool. Of course, now that we have one, we're finding them everywhere. We can always, as I say, we can always sell those to the Polaris or something. They'll take them. But now it's time to go check out the signal here in this box. And I got a card. Has hit us very hard. Kind of a laser projectile or a very advanced rocket. We got separated from the main fleet. These Xerax have cut us off from the rest and are trying to bring us down. They will be successful. The captain has sent the emergency rescue signal. We are making an emergency landing. All engines are off. I am off to the rescue pod. Chief Engineer First Class Pallant out. And I can take the loot in the box too. Chief Pallant. One of the engineers I worked with on my first assignment to the Apollo station. Which is interesting. Hey, did you notice the whole wreckage seemed to be weathered? Like it was lying around here for quite some time? And IDA is going to analyze the traces. The final results show the whole damage happened about 11 to 13 months ago, but we just crash landed on this planet. Months? How can we... Okay, let's say this is correct. It is correct, Commander. Well, thanks, IDA. Considering the events of our arrival, this could explain a lot. Chief Lutz has a theory about time dilation in the vicinity of an unstable warp field, and the irregular warp vortex around the Titan we got dragged into could be considered one. Correct, Commander. I will analyze this further, says IDA. Perfect. Okay, let's consider this is not 2473, but 2474. but for whatever reason. I think we should investigate the wreckage more closely. Maybe we'll get more info on what happened to the fleet, if nothing else. While we're at it, I detect the electronic current nearby, which is this box that we've already looted. But if I just open it, I get another tag. Captain Bernier and most of the flight team were killed just seconds ago. A projectile hit the bow amidships. I was incredibly lucky. My absolutely justified criticisms made after we ran into this mess caused the lieutenant to send me to check the lifeboats. Dang, I can't read. Seconds before the bridge was hit. Karma? Maybe not. Now, I can't leave this room. The doors are sealed. I'm standing right in front of the lifeboat section and cannot enter it, which doesn't matter anyway, as the whole section is missing and I'm just staring into the sky through a big hole in the hole. That's it. Hard to say. Say that 5 times fast. The ground is coming closer. I just heard the tearing in metal. The ship is breaking apart. This might be my final entry in this PDA. I'll put it here. Maybe I will continue it later. Hope at least our engineers did their job while creating the structurally strengthened sections. Immersion, Ensign, UCH Heidelberg. Commander, the optical sensors have detected something attached to one of those machines over there. I also need to learn how to use my jetpack because I'm getting stuck. Can't make it over this ridge. And on the way there, I'm gonna loot some stuff. A pad taped on it? And it looks like it's written in our Academy secret code. Let's see if I can still decrypt this. The Heidelberg is lost. This is actually long. I'm not reading this. You guys can read this. For those of you who don't want to read it, basically, the ship crashed, and they are taking refuge with the Talon, and the Xerax are pursuing them, and says to go use that code on the console back where we just were, and if we need help to go to the Talon villages. Okay, this is slowly painting the picture. Teleporter. But no info where to find it. IDA. Where in this pile of rubble can we find the bridge? That is, I can't finish that because I couldn't read it all. Good news, Commander. I've located the console the writer was speaking about. While we're here, we could grab this oxygen, but I don't think we need it right now. The bridge console's just this way, it looks. But the ship is a mess and hard to navigate. And I don't think there's a core in this, so we can maybe salvage our way through. You can see the whole thing's turned on its side. Need to do it properly and enter through the door, or not, because I can't seem to enter through there. But that's what the multi-tool is for. Okay, there's the console. Got the code, and it just wished us luck. We got a token. Says, okay, that was the easy part. Where do we find the teleporter? Do you remember the station at the crash site? We should start there. And it's been marked on our map for us, which is good. There's also some Dino Stew Royale, which is also good. And basically we just need to head back the way we came. I believe this place also has some fuel in it. Goodness, I cannot jetpack. We can come back later and get that if need be, or if we want to. Right now I think it's fine though. I'm gonna head back to the teleport station now. The console should be inside. Okay, well that's where it was the last time, so it definitely should be. Yeah. Easy. So what was it again? AI routine 34. I'm gonna get a gun in hand. Get the sniper rifle too. You'll see why in just a second when I talk to this thing. Okay. So it's starting self-destruct sequence, which is not good. So we need to back away from that. It says the generator said high frequency signals, and the whole thing just went boom. And there are 2 minigun drones approaching as well, but I can pop them off pretty easily with the guns on this thing. There we go. I also reached level 9 with that. And now that the teleport station is decored, I can just land here. It wasn't really that close. Anyway. I can land here, take this loot. It is very likely that the Xerax found out how to decode the message and were observing the wreckage. Yes, indeed. Can't trust the Xerax. Seems so. Now that the trail has gone cold, Or now this trail has gone cold without the teleporter intact. We might need to find some help. That's probably a good call. There's chapter 2. I'm going to go ahead and activate it now, but I'm not going to start it quite yet because we have other things to do in this episode. Basically, it looks like chapter 2 is taking us to the Talon. I say that because I saw a small settlement on the map, which is a Talon POI. I can land back here at home now, and I'm going to get to work after I empty my inventory, dismantling the damaged hoverbike. Okay, I'm going to set it to private so that we get the full blocks back as opposed to just the parts, but it is now going to get dismantled. It served us well, kind of, for the very few times we actually needed it in the first couple of days, but now its time is up. Also, that reminded me, I'm going to see if I can get a Wi-Fi for this space here, because that way I won't have to run right up next to it. But it looks like I need to unlock the Wi-Fi, and I'm just going to place it where this concrete block was. Just right there. And now what we can do is throw these into the blocks and devices, or at least that one. And I'm actually going to use the constructor outbox for the hover vessel here, because I will turn around and I'll throw all of the parts into the factory. That way it speeds up the production of the EX-01 just a little bit. And with the addition of the Wi-Fi, those towers I built in the last episode, I couldn't actually, like, I would hit in and then I would connect to it, but then I would run like over here and then I'd suddenly be out of range. Now, however, you can see I'm still in range here, but I'm not sure if I'll actually need to put them out on towers. We'll have to see once we get our first base attack. And you can see I managed to extract most of the fuel out of this. There's just 18 fuel left, which is basically nothing. Okay, that is it of the hoverbike, minus this core. If I just go to the connected box, you can see this is everything we got. The one thing I will hold on to is I think the hover vessel only has one docking pad on it. I'm going to hold on to another, just in case I want to put one on the top. And that sounds a little bit strange, I know, because you don't put a docking pad on the top of the ship unless you plan to either hang it from something or, as I plan to do eventually, to actually haul it using another ship. What you can do in this game is you can actually dock hover vessels to small vessels, and then you can use the small vessels to shuttle the hover vessels around. So since the hover vessels are a bit slower, it makes it a lot nicer to just be able to scoot them around with the small vessels. Everything else, however, is going to go into the factory. I got 2 fuel packs from that as well. You can see as each block I add in, the timer goes down a little bit. With all those blocks, the blocks that are just the normal ship, like steel and carbon substrate blocks, the time went down a little bit, but with the addition of a cockpit, it should go down a lot more. And it's because these are actual components that are used in the ship itself. I can actually throw these into the input box because they were part of the core, but they're now raw components, and that shaved a couple minutes off of the time it takes to build this thing and contributed greatly to the amount of resources needed. But it looks like we are going to need more copper. We might be okay on silicon. I might have to go mine up another deposit, but I know we're going to need more copper for sure. So I'm going to head over to the copper deposit, and it won't take me long because of the new drill. Actually, I just remembered, last episode we actually went at the end of the episode and mined a bunch of copper, so I don't need copper, but I will pick up some iron, just a little bit of iron, and then I'll pick up some silicon as well. And it actually looks like we also picked up iron in the last episode, so we're actually good on both of those then, it looks, but again, still need that silicon. So I'm going to see where the nearest silicon deposit is, which is, I haven't flown towards the small settlement-ish direction yet, so there might be a silicon deposit around here somewhere. Hey, we finally found a silicon deposit. So there is our silicon deposit. And I might actually end up mining this whole thing just straight in one sitting, because it won't take long with this awesome drill. This deposit is definitely small, you can see, so I'm just going to pick up the whole thing, and if I get an inventory full, I can always just put it in one of the 4 boxes we have on the ship. For some reason the bolt is turned off, it looks like, but then there's still the particle effects around it, but oh well. So there's more silicon down, and I'm going to fly back to the outpost. And now I have more parking room since the hover vessel isn't there. So, before I go to bed, because I will sleep, I'm going to queue up a bunch of resources that we're going to need here. So yeah, it actually looks like we are low on copper, but we can, again, go and get some more. It's just right behind the base. But while I go and get some copper, I will queue up, let's see here, 50 ore, 100 ore, and it appears that my turrets are attacking something, but I also didn't configure them. So they might just be attacking, yes, they were just attacking an animal outside. I don't even know what it was, but I bet if we take a peek out, we can figure it out. I have no clue what it is, and I'm not going to waste a huge amount of time on it either. I actually thought the base was getting attacked, but seeing as it was just a couple miniguns attacking, it was not a base attack. That being said, we will have another base attack in less than 10 days. But I'm going to go ahead and queue up some iron, silicon, and also a bit of cobalt, crafting up while I go and get some more copper. Okay, I now have that copper. I'm also going to throw it in the inbox, of course, and a little bit of crushed stone as well from the mining. And it looks like we only have 16 in here, which is strange because I thought I just dumped a lot in. Oh, I queued up 5 silicon ore. That's probably why it's being strange. It's because I accidentally, instead of queuing up the silicon ingots, queued up the silicon ore. Anyway, there's that. And I'm also going to queue up, let's see, 200, 400, and 600 carbon substrate. And then what I can do is just take a nap. And when I wake up in the morning, voila, it's all done. And I can throw as much of this as I can carry into the factory. It also appears that I cannot make any more carbon substrate, possibly because I'm out of wood. So I will have to go and gather some more in a minute, eventually. But it looks like we also have 5 neodymium, which is all that the ship needs. So killing those golems has definitely paid off as well. I'm just going to go around and cut down trees and clusters such as this one, and I'm going to get back to you guys when I have probably, well, a decent amount of wood. Okay guys, I'm now headed back. I have about 18 pieces of wood. If we need more wood in the future, we can go get it. As I say, the crash site biome is right behind us, but I would really like to get this vessel done, or almost done, in this episode. So I'm kind of rushing everything. Just looking at what we need, it looks like we need another 70 or so iron, another 80 or so silicon. I'm just getting really rough. In fact, I'm probably wrong. I'm not counting. It looks like 50 iron or so now. Another like 60 or 70 silicon, and a lot more copper and a lot more carbon substrate. With these resources here, that will be all we need to finish the vessel. You can see we're almost there, and I've been throwing more copper in the factory as it's been being produced. Okay, and I have exactly 311 silicon in there now, so that means as soon as we get to level 10, we can click start on that thing and let it do its thing. Really quickly, I'm going to run around and see if I can find anything to kill, but I don't have that long left to record, guys, so we'll see how it goes. If I could find a desert golem right now, that would be really good, because those guys give a lot of experience, but I'm not seeing one. In fact, I'm not seeing a whole lot of any wildlife. we're actually approaching some Xerax territory, which is nice for a couple different reasons. But unfortunately, guys, I'm going to have to let you go. I just got a notification that I have less than 2 minutes left to record. So, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll try not to fall away from the ship, but basically I'm going to probably off camera just go and hit up some of those Xerax, or maybe I'll even bring it to you guys next week. But anyway, again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye. And also, because of the situation I'm in, you get a very up close and personal view of the mountains for the nature scene here. And apparently like a tornado on them, too.